Jardin.
Who
Went scuba diving, tried to show off by doing an underwater somersault, lost which way was up, was too lazy to keep looking, so just evolved gills and had a moderately comfortable life beneath the waves.
Harrison Ford?
No. Two guys. Let's Hello and welcome to episode 82 of Two Guys What's Up, the weekly comedy podcast where the host would hate to live in the ocean, they get enough crabs on dry land as it is. My name is Iain and this itchy bugger is Jordan. Jordan, how are you?
Bit itchy?
Bit itchy.
But I'm alright.
Same old.
I'm used to it. I mean, you should be as well.
I am. I just kind of ignore it now though.
Yeah.
I'm so tall that it takes my hands so long to get to my crotch to scratch. But by the time I get halfway down there, about the belly button, I usually forget what I'm going for.
Oh, okay. Is that why you always ask me?
Yeah, mate, just while you're down there.
Started already. Love it. So we are currently, if you can't already hear the slight difference, we're in the same room.
We are in the same room, and for the first time, we're recording in my house.
We are. So we might have some really spooky stuff happen.
Yeah, like my children coming down, like, Dad.
I've got poo on my foot.
Oh, God, no, not again. Flashbacks, man, that's horrible. I thought something really funny last night. Yeah, finally.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything, right? Being 82 episodes in, I was like, I need to just tell him.
Yeah, finally. Here comes a joke. You ready? Drum roll, please. I was sat here, exactly where I am right now, listening to, I can't remember which episode it was, maybe 56 or something like that.
Oh, of us?
Yes, of us, just sort of listening back. And do you remember when we spoke about my Men in Black dog pal Mike?
Yes.
And we came to the conclusion that it was your dad?
Yes.
I was thinking we'd actually maybe even kind of backed up that conspiracy a little further, because last week we were talking about all the times he tried to kill you. So that's just another one on the list.
I mean, I can't defend him.
So now you've got the stairs, the ocean, walking into McDonald's, and the poisoned cookie.
Wow. That's it then, isn't it? That's confirmed.
I mean, it kind of feels like point proven.
I don't know what to make of that.
Get him on the phone. Tell him what it's for.
Right, yeah, calling him now.
Right, yeah. Hey, Dad. You Men in Black bastard. I'm sick of your shit, mate.
See, my dad won't even have a clue what that is.
Just like you what, mate.
Even if he was.
As he sat there in his house sharpening his knife with a picture of you ahead of him, like, glaring at it. Yeah, mate, yeah. Yeah, Men in Black, yeah, I don't know what that is, mate.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. Do you reckon that what we think of as his actual job, which is selling, like, windows, doors, conservatories and so on, as a salesperson, it's just a cover-up?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you told me that he sometimes just likes to sit in the conservatory, and that's probably because they just think he's a customer. So he tells you that he goes to work, you know, you see him go in, he sits there, and they're just like, there's that f***ing guy again who just comes and sits here from 9 till 5 in that one conservatory. Weird, at lunchtime he pulls out a cheese and pickle sandwich. Every day, like clockwork. He's just sat there with his black shades on, talking into his lapel.
I tell you what though, right? So a real story now.
Oh, God.
A couple of days ago, we were driving past where he works, and as you described him, he was sat in the conservatory.
With all the staff looking at him.
I mean, he's lucky actually, because he, on a weekend, is the only one that's really in there.
Oh, so he breaks in.
Yeah, but I've been having problems with the alarm apparently, so maybe. So he sat there, usually on his iPad, with like the world going by, so he probably doesn't realise if a customer comes in, and he's there in this boiling hot conservatory with his gilet on. This was like when it was the height of July weather.
Yeah, like 26 degrees.
Yeah, and in there it must have been 30s easy. And he's there with his gilet on.
Just further backs up my point that that guy ain't human.
Yeah, I think the more I think about it, it's so true. And like, me and my mum were just saying the other day, we never notice him sweat.
Really?
Yeah.
And what big black almond-shaped eyes he's got.
Because me and my mum were absolutely dripping with sweat. And then my dad's there with his f***ing coat on. Like, what's the problem?
Just comes in a bit cold today, guys, huh? No, Dad, it's boiling. Oh, yes, of course.
My mistake.
Recalculating. Unzips his coat.
It was funny though. It did help as much as he might be Men in Black cut my hedge.
Yeah, he's just hoping for an accident. Like, you're stood on the other side of the hedge. He's got there with his eyes shut.
Oops, slipped again.
Oops, slipped again. There goes his head. Better alert the other parental unit.
Oh, it is cold.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jordan's mum, your son's dead. I accidentally chopped his head off with a hedge trimmer. He's boiling to the touch. Don't you mean he's cold to the touch? Recalculating. Yeah, mate, he's cold to the touch.
And then he unzips his gilet.
He's freezing about.
Getting a bit confused. Oh, I love it, yeah. I don't think that is true, but it does make sense.
Yeah, that's at least 4 incidents of trying to off you. He must have known this podcast was going to come to fruition.
No, I don't think he listens.
That you know of.
Yeah, that is very true, yeah.
Probably beaming into his head. He's probably sat outside my window right now. They're on to me. in his gilet thing. Real cold today, guys.
Oh, God. It's like, these winters are cold. No, it's summer here in England. Recalculating. Love it.
Fantastic. So, me old pal, what have you got coming up for us today?
So today, and for you, I have for you 10 facts that were taught to us as kids, even likely mentioned or maybe even actually taught in schools, that have since turned out to be a bunch of bollocks.
That sounds amazing.
So in other words, 10 facts that we've been taught that have been disproven in our lifetime.
Okie dokie.
I hope it doesn't disappoint.
I'm sure it won't, Jordan, because all the time you're talking, I'm just going to be staring at your face. And I love your face.
That's all right then, isn't it? So, Iain, what on earth have you got for us today?
Me, Jordan? Little old me over here. Today, the aliens are back. I have got a crazy story for you, one that is super interesting and takes place right here on our very own planet Earth. It is the Aurora UFO crash. Have you ever heard of it?
Don't think so, but I have heard of auroras and I have heard of UFOs.
Smashing. Well, I guess you just pretty much heard the whole story then.
So, 10 facts that have been disproven.
Yeah, I'll sit back. Right, do you want to hear about it?
Go on then.
All right, mate. 'Twas the waning days of the 19th century, and the small town of Aurora in Texas didn't know it yet, but they were about to find themselves at the centre of one of the most mysterious legends, the incident which is now the very cleverly named Aurora UFO incident.
See, I was thinking you meant auroras as in like the auroras in the sky.
The Aurora Borealis?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately it's just the place in Texas.
Now I'm not interested.
Oh, I'll shut up then. Or you can leave. The year was 1897, and it was a time when the world was on the cusp of a monumental and technological and social change. Aurora in Texas was a quiet town with a population of just a few hundred, nestled in the rolling plains about 30 miles northwest of Fort Worth. It was an ordinary place, a lovely little town. Life in Aurora was simple, which revolved around farming and local community activities. You know, the type of place where the doors could be left unlocked in the evening, the garages were all left open at night, bikes weren't locked up, belts were unfastened, hatches unlatched, shops unshuttered, windows open, flaps out, cheeks in the wind.
Gilets in the conservatory.
If your dad wants to, mate, that's fine.
Well, whether he wants to or not, he does.
So long as he doesn't make me wear one, I'm fine with it.
Nah, I think you'd be all right.
I'm human.
Yes, very true.
Some people say.
Recalculating.
On April 17th, 1897, unbeknownst to anyone, this tranquility was about to be shattered by a bizarre, unsettling event. According to the account published in the April 19, 1897 edition of the Dallas Morning News, written by a gentleman named S.E. Hayden, the residents of Aurora were rudely woken up early in the morning by a loud, rumbling noise. I'm going to start doing my own sound effects.
Iain, get off me now. Not yet.
Wait till the mics are off, baby. A mysterious flying object, said to be a cigar-shaped airship, was hurtling through the sky. Eyewitnesses claimed that as it was sailing, it was moving erratically and appeared to be in distress, losing altitude as it flew overhead. Then, at approximately 6 a.m, the airship lost its battle to stay in the air and collided with a windmill that sat on the property of the local judge named J.S. Proctor. You can tell this is like olden day times because everyone's called like BT Sandwichton, or, you know, they've all got like initials as their first name.
I was nearly going to be called JJ.
Were you? Mm-hmm. JJ Jordan. It's a shame. It sounds like something a Men in Black would come up with, doesn't it?
That's very true, yeah. Can't argue with that, really.
The collision resulted in a proper big explosion, scattering debris over several acres and damaging the judge's nearby flower garden. Curiosity got the better of all the townsfolk, and they all left their unlocked houses and headed to the crash site. There, they found the wreckage and the mangled remains of the airship that looked strange for the time. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. It was made of a seemingly strange metal that was reportedly lighter than aluminium, but just as strong. But the most shocking discovery was yet to come. Amongst the wreckage, there was also a small body.
Uh-oh.
Womp, womp, womp.
So we're either thinking...
It got a child.
Yeah.
Or
it's a little alien.
Or there's a child driving a cigar-shaped airship. Or it's an alien. 3 choices.
Or is it all of them? We're going to find more small bodies.
I don't think so.
Well,
I haven't read the story, though. This was sent to me by my Men in Black mysterious suitor. He calls himself JJ Daddy.
Oh, God. Oh, no, it doesn't. Not to me, it doesn't. JJ Daddy. Oh, God.
Well, he told me to put himself as his contact.
Oh, that's
with a picture of him like this.
Oh, that's horrible.
Disgusting. Witnesses described it as not of this world, and the descriptions of the body found at the Aurora crash site point to a curious and eerie picture. According to the original account by Hayden in the Dallas Morning News, the body was badly disfigured from the crash. However, certain features distinguish it from being human. The alien, as I'm just going to come right out and say it.
Okay, yeah, called it.
It's not said, but that's the implication, was reported to be small, roughly child size, between 3 and 4 foot in height. Despite being humanoid, the being's proportions were different. The limbs were described as being thin and elongated. Its skin was said to be a strange colour and texture, unlike anything the sleepy townsfolk had ever seen. And wouldn't you know it, in reports gathered later, it was often reported as having a greyish or greenish hue, smooth and possibly reptilian or leathery skin in appearance.
Ooh, reptilian or leathery textured skin.
Yeah, bruddy.
Did you just say bruddy?
Maybe. Mate, I haven't said, but this is Sunday. We all know what Sunday means. I've had a long shift and a long weekend, so I'm dead. And now I'm drinking on top of it.
Yeah.
I had a pizza before you came round, so I'm just fucked, mate. I'm half dead.
Just you wait.
There's no fight left in you, boy. Oh, disgusting.
Call you aye, Daddy.
Because that's all you're going to say. Bend over. Aye, Daddy.
Oh, God.
Lord. The head was disproportionately large compared to the body, but unfortunately, details about facial features were scant due to the disfigurement caused by the crash. So, what are you thinking right now, Jordan? Does this sound about believable?
I mean, isn't this the case of many UFO crash sites?
I guess so. This is the general reported thing that comes out of crash sites from aliens. I mean, not just like a plane crash or something. A car crash. Oh my God, they look like reptilians.
Yeah.
Really EMTs. I'm good over there. It's got a really big head.
See, up until the point when you said about the skin,
yeah,
I would have thought, well, this still could be a child.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would hazard a guess, probably not now.
Well, I mean, how many children do you see riding in a cigar-shaped airship?
You don't see that they were.
Yeah, they were at the crash site.
Yeah, no, they might have been crashed into.
Okay, right, fair enough.
They weren't in the cockpit.
Okay, but it's an alien now. We've established that.
Well, I'm talking myself out of it. It could have been... could have just been a kid wearing, I don't know, lizard
an alien
costume.
All right. If you're not quite on my side yet, here's some testimonies for you.
Okay.
Mary Evans, who was a young girl at the time, recounted in interviews many years later that her parents described the body as looking unlike any human. And another resident, Charlie Stevens, who saw the airship before it crashed, also said, yeah, the pilot was otherworldly. The townspeople, recognising the body as non-human, decided to do the decent thing and give it a respectful burial in the Aurora cemetery. The headstone was adorned with a crude engraving of the airship, and I'd like to show you a picture, Jordan, but it was unfortunately later stolen.
So you were giving me that old Chris Tarrant.
I'd like to show you that. At least he puts it in their hand. I'm not even going that far.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he doesn't let go.
Yeah, I'm just going to pretend it's in my hand. I'd like to show you a picture.
I'm not going to give you that.
Eat it. So in modern retellings and investigations, the descriptions of the alien body gives eerie similarities with what we know now as greys. But look at the time, Jordan. As I said, 1897. Anything we generally know about greys came from after this account. So is that not a little bit of proof for you?
Maybe they set the tone for kids wearing costumes. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen an alien grey costume, for one. Secondly, we all know that it's Betty and Barney Hill that popularised the look of the aliens. So this was, 50 years before that.
Okay, so Betty and Barney Hill were just copycats.
Okay.
They heard about this UFO Aurora story.
Oh, yeah, and we want to cash in on that.
Yeah.
That story that's going to get told once on a podcast. 2024.
Yeah. I mean, forward planning, you got to give it them.
It's the best way to be, mate. I don't go anywhere without forward planning.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be daft if I went backwards, wouldn't it?
Well, you say that, but you just told me before recording this that you've not quite finished everything of your prep.
Shut up, man. You shut your mouth.
Sorry.
So, for the skeptics out there, some have suggested that the story was a hoax concocted by Hayden and the townsfolk to draw attention to Aurora, get some tourism in, which had apparently been in decline since a planned railroad bypassed the town. So bear in mind, there's only a few hundred people in this town. They probably need the tourism, so they've concocted this story to get some tourists in, because this new railroad takes everyone right past it.
Okay.
It's putting them back on the map a little bit.
Yeah, it makes sense. But why not just build a station?
I don't think they really had the option. I don't think it was their choice.
Oh, okay.
So you might have thought of this railroad and the whole trying to get more publicity thing is an easy answer. That's it, we've heard all the evidence. But you're wrong. The story might have faded into obscurity if renewed interest in the 20th century didn't kick it all back up again. In the 1970s, UFO researchers descended upon Aurora hoping to uncover the truth. They interviewed surviving witnesses and their descendants and attempted to locate the grave of the alien in attempts to exhume the grave, which were declined by local authorities, citing respect for the dead, which left researchers at a dead end. But a significant development... What? Dead end? Are you laughing at dead end?
Yeah.
Are you tired as well? But a significant development did come in 1973 when Bill Case, an aviation writer for the Dallas Times-Herald and budding member of MUFON, conducted a detailed investigation. He managed to uncover additional eyewitnesses who supported the original account and even found metal fragments at the supposed crash site. The fragments were sent for analysis and were indeed found to contain an unusual aluminium alloy. So Jordan, that is the full tale. That is where it's at now. What do you think of that? We've got eyewitnesses. We've got aliens looking like aliens before they were aliens. We've got metal fragments found in the ground. We've got an absent grave. What do you think?
I think you need to slow down on the Bushmills.
Look, I'm just sat at a weird angle, right? So I kind of drink and it just sits in my diaphragm rather than going to my tummy. As soon as I sit up, you're going to hear it's like I'm going to be flushed. It's like someone's going to flush me.
Oh, yeah, lovely. So what do I think? I think it's very plausible.
Good. I mean,
actually.
I think that sounds like a very easy answer to give, considering you were f***ing about your mic stand the entire time I was talking. You weren't listening at all. All you just zoned in and heard was, aliens, windmill, cigar. You're like, all right, yeah. There's an alien sat in a windmill with a cigar. That sounds believable, Ian.
That was the story, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Okay, yeah. Then I'd totally believe it.
Smash him. Moving on then.
One thing that I found weird, though, is that this supposed alien, that they actually buried it.
Yeah, I think it's early days, isn't it? Everyone's quite sort of maybe a bit more religious than they are these days. It was more of a community thing. It was a very small community, so they probably just thought, we've got a dead body. What do we do with it? We can't eat it. We'll just bury it. We'll give it a nice little burial, so it has a nice little sleep forever.
And then did that body end up disappearing?
No, apparently the grave's still there, but the grave marker disappeared.
Oh, I see. Okay. So supposedly we have an alien from another origin
polluting our farmlands. Yes. Wow. Disgusting. Maybe that's
where COVID came from.
I was going to say GMOs. Anything that comes from the ground is alien tainted.
Ooh. That was like a thing from horror films, though.
Like giant bits of corn eating you in your sleep.
Yeah, I told you not to bring that up.
Sorry.
No, like where, so say if it was a zombie film.
Yeah.
So this happened in The Walking Dead, which I don't think you've ever really watched, to be honest with you.
I think I started and got bored like halfway through season 1.
Oh, fair enough. And there was like 12 seasons or something. So that was a long commitment, if not.
It became a parody of itself.
It unfortunately did. But at its height, the main group ran into a group of who they didn't realise were cannibals.
Oh.
And they started eating members of the original group.
Oh, God.
But didn't realise that the original member of the group that they were eating had been bitten by a zombie.
Oh, so
it was a case of like, oh, tainted meat, like what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So yeah, it just reminds me of that.
What did happen?
I think there was a big kind of shoot 'em up and we never really got to the bottom of what happened because they were dead anyway.
They all turned into cigars and aliens and they got in each other and flew away.
Got in each other?
Yeah.
Like Russian dolls?
No, like one turned into a cigar, one turned into an alien. Alien got in the cigar and they just beeline for the nearest windmill.
Oh, okay. Is that by like height order?
I think it was just, family circles.
I'm pleased we cleared that up.
Me too, mate. It's been bugging me. That's why I stopped watching it. I couldn't get past that.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Interesting story. Never, ever, ever heard of that.
Maybe there's a reason for that.
Maybe, but I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. It was a lovely story.
It was. And I would probably say that I probably believe that, I think.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like much of a thing to be faking. I mean, I guess maybe the tourism thing is about the only thing against it.
I can see that as a plausible reason for it, but it seems like a massive lie to make. I mean, you could literally just be like, okay, well, we'll just build a football stadium or something, and we'll host teams, to come play here to bring in tourism, not fake an alien crash. I mean, how would they even know about aliens? How would they come up with the cigar-shaped ship? Like, the points of it are too accurate to other people's stories. Like,
but you're saying this was one of the first instances of that?
Exactly.
So who's to say that it was just made up and everybody else has heard that at some point? Yeah. Oh, it's a weird, like, long tube-shaped thing. Oh, yeah, that weird Aurora story was on about cigar shape. Oh, it must be the same thing.
I honestly don't think it's big enough to have caused that kind of shockwave throughout the ufology world.
How do you know? Were you around in the 1800s?
Maybe. Is it to you? I just don't think it's the story is. It's not like Roswell.
No,
it's not like that kind of scale. Like everyone knows about it. You say aliens, people go, "Oh, Roswell." It's a very lesser known story. I don't think it could have permeated the consciousness of people who were pretending to see aliens.
Yeah, I get you, but still possible.
Not at all. Aliens are buried on Earth, people. The end.
You heard it here first. Quite literally.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, thank you very much for that.
No problem. Thank you for listening and other stuff.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for the foot job halfway through.
All right, Ian. So today we're exploring a bunch of facts that were taught probably in schools, or at least when we were young, that have since been disproven in our own lifetimes.
Nice. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. Is there any way you can ask me the question and I can tell you what the answer is to see if I give you the school answer? So you can tell me we were taught that dolphins all smell like shoes. Ian, what does a dolphin smell like? And I'd be like, shoes. And you'd be like, no, that's the wrong answer.
I'll try. The first one I'd really struggle to think of a question for, so I might just have to tell you that one.
Okay, go on.
And then, I'll play it by ear. All right, but I like the idea. Anyway, that's right, we're going to take a trip down memory lane to unearth those so-called facts that were drilled into our heads, only to be debunked later on. So, Ian, The question is, are you ready to question your old school textbooks?
I remember being asked that in school. The answer was yes.
Nice. So kicking off with the one that I can't really ask you because I can't find a way to really ask this, but the dark side of the moon.
Yes.
So what can you tell me about that?
It always faces away from Earth. I guess, up until recently, it had never been explored, or it gets down to a ridiculously stupid temperature. That's why we can't go there. Aliens live there.
Nothing.
I don't
think that was in the textbooks.
You're probably right. That's about all I can muster up anyway out of my memory.
So yeah, I mean that's a pretty good recollection, really.
Oh, yeah.
And you are right in that we call it the dark side of the moon because the moon is sort of stuck to our orbit, isn't it?
Tidal locked.
That is the one. So we only see one face.
We do, and it does actually orbit. The moon does rotate.
Yes, yeah.
I've learned that maybe in the last 10 years, and I was like, oh, yeah, of course it f***ing does.
Wait, what did you think it was just static?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of assumed that, because you only ever see one side of it, don't you? But obviously for it to always be facing us, it does have to rotate as it goes.
But it's just at the same...
It's rotating as it's moving around. Yeah. Boggles my mind. Yeah, carry on, sorry.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't think that would be the thing that would surprise you, to be fair, but yeah.
Well, it was 10 years ago when it dropped on me, and I was like, oh, yeah.
The moon dropped on you?
Yeah.
It's quite a big deal. Are you tidally locked?
I just bashed it back into space, mate.
Did you?
I'm strong as f***.
Yeah, edge. But yes, so Pink Floyd made it sound very mysterious, but there's actually no permanent dark side of the moon. So I feel like a lot of people will hear the term, the dark side of the moon, and think that it is literally always in darkness.
Explain yourself, young man.
So, okay, Ian. So, both sides get sunlight. It's just that one side is always facing Earth.
Oh, yeah, of course, because when it passes by the sun, it's going to get light.
Exactly. So, it's basically what you just said.
That's another one of those things that's obvious, and you're just like, oh, yeah.
So, what you were saying about it always being super cold because it's in darkness is correct half of the time.
Yeah, that makes total sense. F***ing hell. There's another one of those things that you just think, oh, yeah, that's very obvious.
Exactly. So next time that someone says or mentions the dark side of the moon, now you
punch
can tell
them.
Yes, and then tell them.
I don't think they'll be able to hear you.
No, just in the leg or something.
Oh, I was thinking like, KO to the floor.
Okay.
Don't
and then
stop
what, just shout at them, there is no dark side. And it just sounds like you're full of the dark side.
Well, I mean, to be walking around just punching people, I guess you probably are.
I've seen awful videos, though, like CCTV of just people that are minding their own business in public.
Yeah.
And then some idiot goes by and just, like, knocks them out. Like, coming the opposite way.
Yeah, and as they're cycling off, they shout something about the dark side of the moon. F***ing weird.
It's really weird. Like, there is no dark side. He gets equal light. Number 2, Ian. How many senses does a human have?
Okay, I'm well aware of this one. I think I know what you're going to say. So you're taught there are 5.
Yes, that's the one.
But there are actually a lot more. So you have like a sense of temperature, balance, how horny Jordan is when you first lay eyes on him after a long weekend away. So many more senses than just the 5.
Totally right. I think you got that in one, really. So we are taught from a young age about our 5 trusty senses, just as you said. But can you remember what they are?
There is touch, audio, listening.
Sound, yeah.
Sound, that's the one. Vision.
Yes.
Smell and taste.
That's the one. But as you said, Ian, science now tells us we have way more, like balance, temperature, pain, even the sense of time.
Of course.
Yes, a sense of time passing.
Yes.
Science says we have upwards of 33.
30 whole 3.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be debunked in the future. And then, like, people will be, like, sitting on a podcast in, like, 50 years and be like, remember when school uses you had 33 senses? Idiots. Now we've got, like, upwards of 105.
Yeah. We've got 6 billion.
Never f***ing
So, yeah, basically, we're all superheroes and we just didn't know it.
Which puts everyone on an even keel and makes nothing super about us anyway. We're just humans in the end.
But that is pretty super.
Yeah, but not if anyone else can do it. Superman wouldn't be Superman if everyone could fly and shoot lasers out their eyes. It'd just be people.
Maybe we would all be super people.
No.
Just because multiple can do it doesn't mean it's any less super.
Of course it does. Because then it's not unique, it's general.
Yeah, but super doesn't mean unique.
It does.
Just means really good.
I think we're taking the super part of Superman far too literally, because that's not what, having superpowers means. It doesn't mean you're unique because you have because everyone has powers, but then one person has superpowers. So then if everyone has superpowers, then it just becomes everyone has powers. So everyone is just
Or does
normal.
anyone have powers anymore? It's just... it's just
not under this government, mate. We're all downtrodden. Disgusting. We need to all use our 106 senses to oust them.
That's the one.
Obey this, you whacker.
Ian, I'm going to pull you back.
Okay, sorry.
All right, calm down.
Sorry.
Take a deep breath. Have a sip of your drink.
That's me twice, mate.
The irony is, it's like you've never done it before. And we both know that's not true.
That you've seen.
Be like my dad.
What makes you say that?
Recalculating. Oh, brilliant. Number 3. Another one I feel like I can't really ask because it's just a statement.
Go on then.
The Great Wall of China
is not visible from space.
That's the one. That's it. So, of course, we're taught that the Great Wall of China is visible from space.
Yes.
But that's a load of
bollocks. A load of bollocks, pal.
So it turns out the Great Wall of China is indeed not visible from space with the naked eye. And it's like saying that you can spot a single hair on your head from across the room. So, sorry, China, but your bragging rights have been revoked here at Two Guys What's Up HQ.
And if you would like to annihilate anyone for the removal of that fact from you, Jordan is the curator of this segment. Iain did nothing wrong. I say you can see the Great Wall of China from a hair or something. I can't remember. I'm mixing them together, I think.
I think you are, Iain.
You can see my head on the Great Wall of China.
From space, yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That is what will be in future textbooks.
Get it written, scientists.
Number 4, Iain. What does cracking knuckles cause?
Nothing. I remember it being taught that it causes arthritis, but it is nothing more than air releasing from between your joints.
You're so good at this. I thought you were going to hit yourself then.
Sorry, I'll dumb myself down.
So, yeah, I remember the days of being scolded by my mum and dad for cracking my knuckles as a teen.
Oh, you better stop doing that one because you'll give yourself arthritis.
Okay, right, so that's your mum. And then your dad's like, yes, Jordan. Continue to crack your knuckles. No, he said stop. Recalculating. Stop with the knuckles.
And then you just say, zip.
Gilly on. It's cold today.
It's not, it's August.
Dad, we're in Spain, mate. Of course.
Oh, God. Oh, I love it. Well, Iain, as you said, studies have shown it doesn't cause arthritis. It's just the sound of popping air. So go ahead and crack one out. I mean, crack your knuckles if you want. How the hell did you get all of that?
Many knuckles, pal.
Jesus. Let me try. Not quite as good. Oh, God. You're like a bag of bones.
Yes. Are you not? Of course I am. Recalculating.
I'm JJ. Number 5. Humans use only what percentage of their brain?
100%.
But what are we told, Iain?
Like 5% or something?
Yeah, 10%.
10%. That's such a stupid
Concept?
Yeah, like stupid thought. That's one of those things that you taught in school. Like, oh, kids will say like, "Oh, you only use 10% of your brain." You're like, "No." Then like you'll get to like 30, and then you'll be like, "I remember when little Jimmy said you only use 10% of your brain." Like, what idiot? Like, how could I believe that? So stupid. What's the other 90% of your brain doing?
Yeah, just like asleep or something. Like,
yeah, and like they've done like is it CT scans which like look at the
activity.
Yeah, is it or one of those kind of scans, and they'll go, think of this, or touch this part, or tickle this, and every single part of your brain lights up, and every single part does something. So if you believe that, don't anymore.
That went somewhere different than I thought. It was very, very kind of you, Iain. So, indeed, it is a lie. Humans only using 10% of the brains is a myth, which made us all feel a bit like underachievers, I think, really. But as Iain said, neuroscientists have debunked it, and it turns out we use pretty much all of our brain.
Yeah. There's something for everyone in there.
Exactly. Like, imagine your brain as a high-powered supercomputer. It's actually not slacking, just chilling out on the couch all day, working at 10% capacity.
Yeah.
So it's actually doing something.
Can you imagine if you turned on your computer and half of it was just like, nah. And just like the J key worked or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or just LOL.
Yeah. Check out the new 2025 MacBook Pro. Today, the delete key and the L key work.
That's very true. If you'd have said that about Windows, I'd have believed it.
I think we started on dirty Windows, pal.
Number 6. So hard to ask these as questions. Might just have to say this one.
That's fine, pal. You just go ahead.
The false fact that chameleons change their colour to match their surroundings.
Yeah, they don't. It's based on mood, isn't it?
That's exactly it. You're really good.
Thanks, buddy.
Like when you have 5 pints of Bushmills in you, it like opens up a new dimension in your mind.
Yeah, I
and
finally
you can
use
just
that, the other 90% of my brain.
So as Iain said, chameleons, those pesky little reptiles with a supposed talent for swapping their colour to match their surroundings. But it isn't actually true. It's a common misconception that they do this to camouflage themselves against a background. But, in fact, chameleons mostly change colour to regulate their temperatures or to signal their intentions to other chameleons. So, they actually change colour due to emotions, like Iain said, temperature and light, not actually to blend in. And it's like they're wearing a constant skin-absorbed mood ring, not camouflage. So there you have it.
Or some kind of alien tech gillet, some might say.
I'll ask my dad. Number 7. What is the tallest mountain?
Oh, God, what on earth? That is one that starts in the ocean. I can't remember the name of it, but it's not Mount Everest.
So most people would say Mount Everest.
Yeah.
I think we're told it's Mount Everest.
Yeah, I think people generally say that because if someone says, think of a mountain, you're going to go, Earth, and then you think one that starts on Earth, but obviously ones do extend into the ocean, and that's what...
Very true.
That is the more technical answer.
That's exactly it. You're super good.
Thanks,
I
buddy.
can't deny it tonight. You're on fucking form.
Thanks, buddy. I didn't do any work today.
So, as Iain said, Everest is tall, and we all know that. I mean, it actually is taller than Iain, to be fair.
Give or take a few inches. Not big enough, is it?
No, not when you're lying down.
I remember the last time I fell asleep with a boner and it went floppy, fell over and killed a village.
Did it? Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
We were coiled around like a big dirty snake.
Timber! Beautiful. Still a better love story than Twilight. But the tallest, if you measure from base to peak, is actually Mauna Kea in Hawaii, which is actually almost 1.5 kilometres taller than Everest.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So Everest is like that guy who's really tall standing on a chair. Meanwhile, Mauna Kea is quietly the overachiever who's secretly hunched down in the background.
Oh, I see.
That's how I'd describe
Stood
them.
in the ocean. Fun fact about Mount Everest. Did you know, I can't remember who it was, this is just off the top of my head, the guy that measured it for
fun.
No, for like jotting it down for the records.
Yeah.
Measured it at bang on exactly to the 0 feet.
Wow.
So I can't remember how tall it is, but let's say 200,000 feet, right? But he measured it to that, but he was like, no one's going to believe I measured it because it's a round number. So he added 2 feet. So it is actually in the records as 2 feet taller than it actually is because he had to add 2 feet to make it look like he wasn't lying.
He could just say when he's got to the top, he's added 2 feet, quite literally.
I don't think he got to the top.
Oh, okay.
I think he was just stood away with some binoculars like, oh, it's about 20,000 feet, that. And 2 maybe.
Brilliant, yeah. You'd be really pissed off, wouldn't you, if you got to the top and you're like, fuck, what was it?
Yeah. Or gets his pen out to write it down, like forgot his notebook.
This is when he starts doing like the 4 lines 1 through tally.
Yeah, tally marks.
It's like, did I count that one?
Poor guy.
So Iain, number 8. What colour is human blood in the veins?
It's red. Everyone thinks it's blue because of the way it looks like through your skin.
Exactly. What was I expecting you to say? You've got them almost all right so far, and that's exactly it.
I've got them all right. You take that away from me.
We'll forget about the moon thing.
The moon isn't real anyway, mate. God.
It's all right. You can just lob it back up when it comes back down to you.
Exactly, yeah.
So, ever look at your veins and think you're secretly part Smurf?
Did you write that?
I remember being told that blood is blue, as visually veins are under your skin, and that it only turns red once it hits the air.
Yeah.
Basically in oxygen. But actual fact, as Iain correctly said once more, is that blood is always red. It just looks blue through your skin.
Yeah.
Almost word for word, actually, that. Yeah. So no, you don't have blue blood unless you're...
Jordan's dad.
unless you're royalty, or just very, very cold.
Is that true? If you're cold, you get blue blood?
Oh, you'll have to tell me.
I don't get cold, mate.
My dad does.
I've got a wardrobe full of jillies upstairs.
Number 9, another one I can't really ask you because it's more of a fact. But do you remember at school when we all had those cartoon diagrams of the tongue diagrams? Showing you different taste zones.
Yeah, load of bollocks.
That's exactly it.
It's not split into salt and sweet and sour.
Which other one?
Sweet, salt, sour, and it's not going to be savoury, is it?
No. Begins with a B.
Bitter.
Yes. So basically, they were, as Iain sort of pointed out there, on diagrams split up into these different zones.
I don't know how the anyone could think that. So stupid.
This is when he was like, yeah, f***ing idiots.
I was there, 3 years old going, you're all wrong. But no one listened to me.
But yes, that is a lie, it turns out. Our tongue's taste buds can detect flavours anywhere. So much for the tongue treasure map, load of books. More like an all-you-can-eat taste buffet.
Yeah.
And now, Iain, the final one.
Oh, God.
This pisses me off, something chronic.
All right.
So even to this day, my mum and dad still say this very thing to me.
Okay, let me guess. So it's when you're a child and your parents go, Jordan, you are a lovely, handsome boy. Anyone would be lucky to have you. The truth is, you're a dick.
Yeah, probably, actually.
I'm only joking, mate. You know you're scrumptious.
So this very thing annoys me every single time.
Okay.
And I hear so many people saying it. And that is, you can catch a cold from being cold.
No, you can't.
Exactly. So we all remember being bundled up, warned not to go outside with wet hair or we'd catch a cold.
Yeah.
Or sitting near an open window with a draft on our back. Oh, be careful, you'll catch your death. But no, shut up with the nonsense, because it's bollocks.
'Tis.
Actually, colds are caused by viruses, not cold weather.
Yeah.
So if you catch a cold, blame the germs, not your fashion sense.
Exactly. Go out in those short shorts. Wear that hat.
Just think of anything opposite to my dad, really.
Yeah, and anything that puts you in pretty much nothing in the cold weather, if that's what you want to wear, you'll be fine.
Yes.
So long as someone don't come up to you and cough right in your mouth.
Oh.
Is that like one of your biggest fears or something? Because we spoke about that when we went to see Darren Brown, and just then, and every time we've referenced it, you're like, oh, meh. Like,
The thing is, right, I remember the adverts. There's one in particular where someone's like on a bus and someone sneezes or coughs, and you see the animation of all the little droplets of germs going everywhere, cloud like hitting your face and being like, it's just awful.
It is pretty grim. Sexy though.
But yes, so there you have it. From space myths to chameleons, we have debunked some of the most common misconceptions we all believed growing up.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Jordan.
You're
I
very
feel
welcome.
no smarter for that because I knew every answer. F*** it. You big-headed dickhead, shut up. You're
At the dark
jobby,
side
you
of the
bastard. And I tell you what, one of the other things about the moon that shocked me, that I completely, I probably would have been able to gather.
Not made of cheese.
No, that one was learned a long time ago when I tried to take a nibble. Couldn't quite
Before you
reach it.
booted it back.
Ow! That's why I booted it. I was angry. But no, so you know when you see like a crescent moon?
Yeah.
So like it's got the sliver and the curve in it. Do you know why it looks like that?
Because of the Earth's shadow?
Yeah, it's a f***ing Earth shadow. And I was like, oh yeah. It's like one of those, I knew it, right? But no one's ever said it to me. No one's ever told me. And then like I worked it out and I was like, oh. So you used to seeing the moon every day. So you don't look at it and you don't think about it because it's always there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've never questioned. I just know the phases of the moon happen. Sometimes it looks like this, sometimes it looks like that. But I've never questioned why it looks like that, and no one's ever told me. People have just told me full moon, crescent moon, half moon, you know, all that sort of shit.
Or if you Dawn French on the old Jaffa Cake adverts and she's like, total eclipse.
Was that Dawn French in that advert?
I'm sure it was.
Okay, 1 second. This could be completely change the subject, but I remember that person sounding French.
Maybe I'm just thinking French and Dawn French. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly.
See?
But it was a lady.
Yes, it was. Yeah, so either way. But I've never thought about that before. And then suddenly it just kind of clicked. I was like, oh, right, I get it now.
Did you think it was like disappearing a bit?
Well, that's the thing. I never thought anything of it.
Right.
Just never thought at all. I just knew they happened. And then one day I was just like, oh, shadow of the earth. How weird. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then I moved on with my life.
Nice, yeah.
Unlike this conversation, which has been going on for far too long. And I've been saying the same thing about 8 different times.
Very true. So, long story short, if anyone has any examples of their own myths that we all believed, maybe as children or even as adults, do let us know at twoguyswhatsup@gmail.com.
Or that thing that I was on about, if anyone's got any of them things that you were told as a child that went around other children and you believed until you grew up a bit and then you thought back and thought, oh yeah, how the hell did I believe that? Also let us know that, because I'm not going to be able to think about it. Because it's like when someone says, think of a joke, you go blank.
Having said that, right, it was
I've got a joke for you.
only recently I actually understood why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to admit that I just thought it was a answer.
Do you want to explain that for
joke.
people who might not know, because they might not understand? I mean, I get it.
Of course you do.
Don't laugh at me.
You're a clever guy.
Yeah. Right, well, just to prove that I do get it, because I saw this on a Vsauce. So
Right.
I'll explain to you, and then you can tell me if you think I'm right. So to get to the other side, as in death.
Yes.
So it crossed the road to get to the ethereal other side.
Yes.
Right, nice one.
Or it could have just crossed the road to actually just get to the other side of
Well,
the road.
make your mind up, Jordan.
Well, that's the thing. It's a play on the words, isn't it? And I never really understood that for a long time. I just thought, why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? And I thought, it's so dry that is the joke.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought, to be honest. You've opened my eyes. Well, this has been an informative episode.
It has.
I'm so happy we did it.
I think you need some more Bushmills.
Oh, definitely, mate. I'm running low here, but
You are.
So, Jordan, with that, does that about bring us around to the end of today's episode?
I think it does.
Smashing news. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Two Guys What's Up. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you listen to us so you don't miss another episode, and maybe even tell a friend. Take your friend to Aurora, dig up the alien, and go clubbing with it, and request Two Guys What's Up, because what club night would not be complete without Two Guys What's Up on the sound system? Can you imagine that? They're all like, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Jordan!
Brilliant. And if you would like to get in touch with us, our Linktree link is in the bio of this episode, which you can click on and be jetted off to every link you will ever need for all your Two Guys What's Up essentials. Want to get your own Two Guys What's Up t-shirt? Click the link.
Want to learn some more facts about life? Click the link.
Want to debunk some old facts you were taught? Click that link.
And don't forget, we now have Patreon, where you can find all of your Two Guys What's Up extras, including pin badges, shout-outs, t-shirts, and if you really can't get enough of our fantastic tales and drunk voices, 50% off right now, well, now you can get more, because we now release bonus episodes which come out on the last Friday of every single month. There is currently 13 sitting up there right now waiting for your ears to just gobble up that extra audio goodness, and all that is available right now, starting with the bonus episodes for just £3. 13 episodes for £3.
We're underselling ourselves, Ian. What a bargain.
Fucking bargain.
Shut up, Ian. So if you want to support the show and get some cool stuff while you do it, head over to patreon.com/Two Guys What's Up to check out all the goodies over there. The link will be down below if you're pleasure.
But if you can't do that, but you still like to help us out, then a 5-star rating and review in your podcast app of choice would be the best and freest way to fucking help us out, and we would be eternally grateful.
Fucking would.
But on that note, thanks for listening. You all have an amazing week, and we will see you next Blackin'. Several acres and damaging the judge's nearby flower garden.
Well, me.
Later we've said. Just imagine you like midway through, like, what a shag. So the alien came out of the craft. What do you think of that, Jordan? Sexy time? I look over, he's naked. God. So many weird images.